Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for June 26th. June 26th is the 177th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 178th in leap years, with 188 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is diligence. Diligence is a noun that means steady, earnest, and energetic effort, devoted and painstaking work to accomplish an undertaking. For example, despite numerous difficulties, Ursula displayed unwavering diligence and completed her goal. Or, Tom was rewarded with a very nice bonus check for his diligence and dedication. As a legal term, diligence means the attention and care legally expected or required of a person, such as a party to a contract, as in the phrase due diligence. The word diligence comes to us, as so many words have, from Middle English, Anglo-French before that, and ultimately from Latin. First known use of the word diligence in the first definition I gave you is in the 1300s. First known use of the word diligence in that legal definition is in the 1740s. Diligence. And remember, if you have a word you'd like me to explore in the Word of the Day section, pop it in the comments and we'll talk about it. And with that, this is the birthday of French astronomer and academic Charles Messier, born June 26, 1730. He's particularly known for his Messier catalog. He was actually only interested in comets and created a list of non-comet objects that frustrated his hunt for the comets. It's this list that is known as the Messier catalog. It's one of the most famous lists of astronomical objects, and many Messier objects are still referred to by their Messier number. Charles Messier lived to the age of 86. This is the birthday of Abner Doubleday, born June 26, 1819. He was a Union Major General in the American Civil War, and he lived to the age of 73. In 1908, though, 15 years after his death, he was declared by the Mills Commission to have invented the game of baseball. Abner Doubleday. This is the birthday of Col.Tom Parker, born June 26, 1909. He was Elvis Presley's manager, Col.Tom was. He lived to the age of 87. On June 26, 1934, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Federal Credit Union Act, establishing credit unions. If you happen to be a credit union member, you might know more about this than I do. But seeing this item pop up in today's history, I did have to wonder, what is the difference between a bank and a credit union? As I understand it, and as simply as I can say it, a bank is a for-profit business owned by shareholders. As such, the bank's objective is to maximize profits and shareholder returns, where a credit union is a not-for-profit cooperative owned and operated by its members, who are also their customers. Banks are open to the general public. Anyone can open an account, whereas credit unions have membership qualifications based on a common bond, such as being part of a specific organization. There are other differences too, but these are the main ones that come to mind, and the Federal Credit Union Act was signed into law in 1934. 1974, a Universal Product Code was scanned for the first time to sell a package of Wrigley's chewing gum at the Marsh Supermarket in Troy, Ohio. Elvis Presley held his final concert on June 26, 1977 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Nobody could have guessed that it would be his last one. And before we get into the song of the day, let me say that I'll include a link to a previous episode for June 26th in case you'd like to see what I talked about in a previous episode for this date. And now, in honor of Elvis's last concert and Col.Tom, let's talk about one of Elvis Presley's songs. We've already talked about some of his number ones, like Good Luck Charm and It's Now or Never. So we'll look at a different one today. And in doing this research, it looks like the list of songs recorded by Elvis Presley numbers up around 700 to 800 in number. This includes songs that were recorded from the 1950s to his death in 1977, so a little over 20 years. Some of them will have been recorded live, some in the studio, and we're not even counting the ones where he made a cameo and just sang a line or two, or rumored recordings that have been lost for whatever reason. From what I could find, the singles he recorded and released as records numbered about 117 plus 24 singles that were released posthumously. All that said, the Elvis song that jumped up and said, "Me, me," is Blue Suede Shoes. Blue Suede Shoes was written and first recorded by Carl Perkins in January of 1955 in the rockabilly style. Elvis recorded it the following year in 1956. Now, Elvis was friends with Mr. Perkins, and he didn't want to step on his toes, so to speak, so he asked RCA to delay its release while Perkins' version was hot. So Elvis's version of Blue Suede Shoes was released in September of 1956. This was before the Billboard Hot 100 had come about later on in the 50s, but Elvis's single of Blue Suede Shoes reached number 20 on the chart that existed at that time. Blue Suede Shoes has been covered by so many artists since then. Blue Suede Shoes by Elvis Presley. Link in the description. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.